Hello friends, this is Chartered Accountant Omkar Gargil. So we have come up with this video for discussing the amnesty under the GST law which has been inserted by provision of section 128A. Now this amnesty, when it was introduced, of course a lot of buzz was there that a lot of a lot of unadjusted issues or unaddressed issues, or the waivers of interest and penalty will be so good for the taxpayers, and therefore the anticipation was that when this amnesty was issued, all the initial teething issues which were caused at the GST inception and introduction, and probably the issues which were caused by not having a clarity about the law or having a lot of initial changes. So there was a sense of relief in the taxpayers that these initial years, especially what the amnesty covers, that is financial year 17-18, that is 1st July 17 to March 18, financial year 18-19, and financial year 19-20. So the demands which have been arising, the demands which have arisen already from the notices issued under section 73 specifically, and those notices which had either got converted into orders or they were lying under the appeals, or even those show cause notices which were initially issued under section 74, but by virtue of an appellate order which has already been considered or reconsidered to be an issue under section 73, or the appeal is yet to be heard and in times to come it will get converted from being a section 74 issue to a section 73 issue. So primarily, if the taxpayer was having any demand in either of these cases, then for them this was a very essential, and essential thing that really was expected from some time. And as the taxpayer was really with the taxpayer was really moved around when this thing came up, and of course this was more like a sense of relief, because the fastest relief that the taxpayer probably got when they so many circulations were made on WhatsApp when these things have come up. Okay, now the amnesty has come up and my demands are going to go, and only interest and penalty are going to be waived off, etc., etc. But what really happens is that when the amnesty is inserted by way of a provision, it is not simply a way that you go and you pay the tax and your disputes are closed, your orders issued are closed, your the orders which are in the appeals, they get immediately closed, and the demands again you stand squashed. That is not going to happen immediately. And behind all this, there had to be some procedure, there had to be some mechanism. And exactly the problem was that since the time this 53rd council meeting discussed this aspect, 54th council meeting discussed this aspect, even the budget introduced these particular provisions, still there was a lack of clarity as to how exactly this amnesty is going to operate. And finally, now on 8th of October 2024, we had the CGST rules amendment in the CGST rules, whereby the provisions relating to these amnesties, this entire amnesty scheme and this provision of section 128A was introduced for the first time. The forms which are to be used for this amnesty were introduced for the first time. However, on 8th of October, when the rules were issued, again there was some sort of a confusion, and on 15, and considering the same, really the government has acted very fast and they have come up with a circular which was issued on 15th of October. So this entire discussion that we are going to do, that is going to be around this section 128A, which primarily came in through the budget amendment. Then the CGST rules amendment, which happened on 8th of October, followed by that circular 237, which was issued to clarify the doubts which had arisen by virtue of implementation of these rules. So just to take it in a quick manner, in just to be in a dual fashion. So friends, हम लोग यहाँ पे एमनेस्टी का प्रोविजन सेक्शन 128A का ये डिस्कस कर रहे हैं दैट 128A इंट्रोड्यूस करने के वजह से फाइनेंशियल ईयर 17-18, 18-19 एंड 19-20 के जो आउटस्टैंडिंग टैक्स लाइबिलिटीज थे, एंड इफ दे वर अराइजिंग आउट ऑफ द प्रोविजन, आउट ऑफ द ऑर्डर और द नोटिस बिग पार्टन इशूड अंडर सेक्शन 73, ऐसे केसेस में जहां पे सेक्शन 73 के तहत नोटिस इशू हुआ था, उनके केस में रिलीफ पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से ये एमनेस्टी प्रोविजंस 128A के अंदर इंट्रोड्यूस किया गया. हाउएवर, वो जितना इंट्रोडक्शन ऑफ नोटिस के वजह से रिलीफ, एक टैक्स पेयर को सेंस ऑफ रिलीफ था, ये रूल्स इंट्रोड्यूस होने के बाद उसका जो डिटेल है, उसका डेप्थ है, वो काफी सारा खुल चुका है, एंड इट हैज नाउ कम टू द सरफेस. एंड ये चीज हम लोग अभी ये नोटिफिक दिस प्रोविजन जो अमेंड हुई है, वो प्रोविजन अलोंग विद दैट द रूल्स and along with that the circular which has come up to clarify those issues. हम लोग ये सब चीजें एक साथ analyze करेंगे. So friends, now if we go on a step-by-step basis, primarily now section 128A is established and well in the public forum and it is accessible to all. So I'm not going to really read the provision in entirety. There are three primary points that we are going to discuss. One, that this particular thing covers a notice which has been issued under section 73 but which has not yet got converted into order. Now, to be very honest, friends, we don't really have a scenario that the notice has been issued but the order has not been issued now, because the time limit for issuing the orders even for 1920 under section 73 has now elapsed. What happened is, one of the very worrying thing जो हो रहा था कि ever since this thing was introduced or announced, the taxpayer in his defense was saying to the tax officers or mentioning it to the tax officer कि भाई हम लोग का आप demand confirm नहीं करो because we want to get it sanctioned under the amnesty, and हम लोग का आप interest penalty का demand confirm मत करो. However, since the time the announcement was made, since the time the provision was introduced in section 128A, actually the officers as well did not have any modus in which the amnesty is going to be applied. एंड इसीलिए इन द मीन वाइल भी आपका जुलाई मतलब अगस्त सितंबर ये मंथ्स में भी आपके काफी सारे ऑर्डर्स ऐसे कंफर्म हो गए जिसमें टैक्स इंटरेस्ट पेनल्टी सब कुछ कंफर्म हो चुका है, डिस्पाइट द फैक्ट दैट देयर वाज अ एमनेस्टी व्हिच वाज अनाउंस्ड. एंड देयरफॉर ये जो 128A के अंडर क्लॉज ए है दैट द नोटिस इज इशूड बट द ऑर्डर इज नॉट येट इशूड अंडर 73(9), दिस इज नाउ slightly not possible to be existing, although there might be some exceptional cases where the orders have not been issued. Clause B or C means either आपका order issue हो चुका है but it has not been, I mean the order has been issued, you have not filed an appeal under, I mean but you have filed an appeal under section 107, or there is a revisionary authority which has executed its power under 108 and वो appellate authority ने या revisionary authority ने अपना order नहीं दिया. मतलब you received an order under DRC 07, मतलब section 73 के अंडर आपका notice आया, उसका आपने reply दिया, you got an order, you challenge that order with the appellate authority, but the appellate authority is yet to pronounce its judgment. The revisionary authority is yet to give its order. ऐसे scenario अगर exist करता है तो that is what clause B covers. Where an order has been passed by the appellate authority or the revisionary authority, and the same has been challenged in front of the tribunal, which is under section 113, but friends, as you all know that we don't have a functional tribunal for GST under the GST law as of today, and therefore this C clause per se will see the light of the day only for a limited provisions that we are going to refer subsequently. So if this 128A, so if we see the 128A applicability, it is covering those notices which are pertaining to the period 1st July 2017 to 31st March 2020. That is, the time limit is having a regular, I mean definite cutoff. Next, there can be a possibility that your notice was issued initially under section 74. आपका notice जो issue होते वक्त it had been issued under section 74, meaning thereby it was issued under the allegation that the tax has not been paid or short paid on account of fraud, collusion, willful misstatement or suppression of fact. And of course amnesty is not open for that section but only to a limited version. Section मतलब इस particular provision section 128 का first proviso क्या बोलता है, if there is a show cause notice which was issued under section 74 and order is passed or is required to be passed by the proper officer in pursuance of the direction of the authority of appeals or the appellate tribunal or any court, where the notice has been considered not to be fit under section 74 but it should have been a case of notice under section 73, means initially आपका show cause notice 74 में हुआ था, but then the direction by the appellate tribunal, the election by the appellate authority or the direction by the appellate tribunal, if at all whenever it happens, when it constitutes and exists, or any court gives a direction that no, this notice should have been issued under 73 and not section 74. अगर ऐसा सिनेरियो भी आता है देन इवन उसके तहत जो डिमांड कंफर्म होगा उसको भी ये एमनेस्टी लागू किया जाएगा. That is what this provision or the proviso says. And of course the second proviso is only referring to the fact that wherever the appellate authority or the revisionary authority, I mean wherever the appellate authority or the revisionary authority or the tribunal has, or the court has referred to the first proviso, then they, and if they are adding any additional tax liability to be paid along with their order, then even that, or if that tax is paid within a specified period, only then वो केस में आपको एमनेस्टी जो है वो लागू किया जाएगा. But this second proviso is slightly more appears to be in a rare, I mean, rather less number of occasions. Primarily आपका सबसे ज्यादा जो issues रहेगा जो है clause B, clause C and first proviso to section 128A. Okay. Now, if I see the rest part of the provision, then it is more in the nature that that it primarily says that nothing contained in subsection 1 shall be applicable in respect of any amount payable on account of erroneous refunds. So that is one very clear thing. Nothing contained in subsection 1 shall be applicable in respect of cases where appeal or writ petition filed is pending before the appellate authority and has not been withdrawn. So, of course, अगर हम लोग को एमनेस्टी में जाना है, एंड आपका अगर क्लॉज बी के अंदर केस है, मींस आपने एडजुडिकेशन ऑर्डर के अगेंस्ट अपील फाइल किया हुआ है. नाउ इफ यू वांट टू गो फॉर अ amnesty, then the first thing that you are required to do is withdraw the appeal and then go in the amnesty. So what they are saying is that pending the appeal, you cannot go for the amnesty. That is how simply it has been framed. Okay. Now we come to the, so this was basically what the provision says. This is what particularly the provision says. There is one non-obstant clause also which is relevant over here. Notwithstanding anything contained in this act where any amount specified under subsection 1 has been paid and the proceedings are deemed to be concluded under subsection, no appeal under 107, that is appeal to the appellate authority, or subsection 1 of section 102 shall lie against the order referred in clause B or C as the case may be. Means they are saying that once your order is passed under section 128A and where you have considered to be concluded your assessment, then again uske against आप उसको challenge नहीं कर सकते. Now understand, if they are saying that the proceedings are deemed to be concluded अगर है तो उसको challenge नहीं कर सकते हो, but the other side they are not saying. Means if 128A के अंदर का आपका proceeding समझो conclude होता है with a negative sense, means if let's say your amnesty is getting rejected, then you still have an appeal option open. That is what we are going to see in the analysis of these rules and the circle. So friends, let's move to the rules now which are relevant for this. So we are going to see the CGST rules, amendment rules, which were issued on October 8th, 2024. So this was the notification number 20 by 2024 central tax, which I am referring to right now, and in specific item number 14 in it, which has the insertion of rule 164 to the CGST rules. Now, of course, the rules are at very length, and इसलिए हम लोग पूरा उसको नहीं read करने वाले. I just want to give you a brief about how this amnesty is going to be implemented. First, there is a cutoff date which has been mentioned. There is another notification which has been issued to mention what is the cutoff date for making the payment under amnesty. That cutoff date in the normal circumstances is 31st March 2025. 31st मार्च 2025 तक अगर आपने आपके टैक्सेस जो नोटिस के अंदर दिया हुआ जैसे दिया है विदाउट डिस्प्यूट इन फुल अमाउंट इफ यू पे, then that particular cutoff date and amnesty is applicable to you. 31st March 2025. In case your case is coming under the scenario of first proviso to section 128A, मतलब अगर आपका कोई 74 में नोटिस था जिसको आपने चैलेंज किया है, जिसके अगेंस्ट अथॉरिटी, अपीलेट अथॉरिटी और द कोर्ट हैज गिवन अ डायरेक्शन दैट नो दिस शुड हैव बीन अंडर 73. नाउ मान के चलो ये आपका जजमेंट आया ही अप्रैल या मई 2025 में, तो ऐसे केसेस में उन्होंने आपको टाइम दिया है अ पीरियड ऑफ 6 months फ्रॉम द डेट ऑफ दैट ऑर्डर that you can pay that taxes under the amnesty scheme. मतलब in normal circumstances where you have a section 73 notice and a demand order or the appellate order under section 73 ही आपका सब चल रहा है, तो 31st March 2025 ये आपका कट ऑफ डेट है. अगर आपका केस अभी सेक्शन 74 पे शो कॉज नोटिस आया है जिसके अगेंस्ट आपने चैलेंज किया हुआ है, इफ दैट इज रेफर्ड बैक एंड दैट इज मेड अ सेक्शन 73 केस एलिजिबल केस, उस केस में आपको एमनेस्टी में पैसा भरने के लिए उन्होंने बोला है जिस दिन वो ऑर्डर इशू किया जाएगा वहां से लेके 6 months के अंदर तक आपको वो पेमेंट करना है. सो दे आर मोर likely trying to bring you on the level playing field with the section 73 category people as on today. Okay. Now, what this procedure is, now see this, of course, we will be also sharing a document on our LinkedIn and my LinkedIn and YouTube channel also subsequently to summarize this procedure. But I just wanted to take a walkthrough of this through these rules which have been introduced. There is the first step procedure that is to be done is to make the payment of tax. So you pay it through DRC 03. देन देर इज वन एडिशनल फॉर्म, सो DRC 03 से आप पेमेंट करो, उसको पहले आप लाइबिलिटी लेजर में ऐड करना है आपको, एंड देन यू हैव टू सेट इट ऑफ बाय वे ऑफ अ डेबिट एंट्री अगेंस्ट द लाइबिलिटी आउटस्टैंडिंग अगेंस्ट योर नंबर. So एक DRC 03 and DRC 03A will also be required to be filed to adjust this payment. See, because in DRC 03 you are only going to make that payment. You will you will make that payment of tax to the government. नाउ जैसे ऑफसेट लाइबिलिटी आप करते हो, नॉर्मल रिटर्न फाइलिंग करते हो, वैसे ही DRC 03A फाइल करके again there is another PMT challan which is to be filed, through which you are going to consider it against the, I mean you have to consider it as a payment against that specific liability. So पहले आपको liability ledger में भी amount add करना है, then उसके against debit entry create करना है. That in itself will assure that your payment has happened. Now when the rules have been made very clearly, they have given it that the payment towards the tax has been made through DRC 03. An application in form DRC 03A as prescribed shall be filed by the person for credit of the said amount in the electronic liability ledger against the debit entry created by demand before filing the applications. So very importantly, please remember that form DRC 03 या DRC 03A. So now वो अगर शोकॉज वाला केस होता था तो आपको सिर्फ DRC 03 था, because you could have directly adjusted against the liability. Now they are saying is that you will first file DRC 03, then DRC 03A के थ्रू उसको आपको लाइबिलिटी लेजर में लेके फिर सामने जो डिमांड खड़ा है उसके अगेंस्ट ऑफसेट करना, राइट. सो वेरी इंपॉर्टेंटली, please do not use any other mechanism for payment of tax, because that will create a problem that your mechanism of this entire application under amnesty only gets disturbed. So जो तरीका दिया हुआ है उसी के तहत आपको ये पेमेंट करना है. There is no other payment mode which will be accepted. Kindly do not offset any other things which are available with you. Only this has to be followed very clearly. Now what they say is that if first thing that you do is make the payment of tax. टैक्स पेमेंट करने के बाद वो जो नोटिफाइड डेट कंसिडर किया गया है, दैट इज कंसिडर्ड एज 31 March 2025. नाउ द फर्स्ट थिंग दे से इज दैट फ्रॉम दैट नोटिफाइड डेट what is the procedure to go for this amnesty, because this rules have been let down in such a manner कि आप amnesty के तहत एप्लीकेशन करोगे कि मैंने मेरे amnesty के क्लेम के अंडर इतना इतना टैक्स पेमेंट किया हुआ है. You need to justify what payment you have made, and there is going to be a verification done by the GST department of what you are claiming under amnesty. Means it is not a runaway mechanism कि आपने पेमेंट कर दिया, आपका ऑर्डर स्क्वैश हो गया, नो रिकवरीज, ऐसा नहीं होगा. So please remember, merely paying the tax is not going to suffice. Once you pay the tax, there is the actual procedure of amnesty which is going to start. Now, what is that procedure? Let's try to see. First things first is that any person, now we'll just refer to rule 164. Any person who is eligible for waiver of interest, penalty, or both in respect of a notice or statement issued may file an application under SPL 01, providing the details of the said notice, etc., etc. And any person who is there under clause B or C has to file an application under SPL 02. So as I said, most likely the form which is going to be filed is going to be SPL 02. जिनका सिर्फ नोटिस एंड ऑर्डर नहीं इशू हुआ है, बस ऐसे ही केस वाले लोग SPL 01 फाइल करेंगे. बट प्लीज रिमेंबर दैट दिस SPL 01 और SPL 02, ये जो आपको फाइल करना है, दिस इज गोइंग टू बी, I mean this is required to be filed only after the tax payments are being made. So payment will be first, ये applications will be subsequently. Payments will be first, तो कट ऑफ डेट के पहले पेमेंट करना है एंड ये एप्लीकेशंस आपको सब्सिक्वेंटली करना है. So you will first file this application under SPL 01 or SPL 02. Now what happens next? Now first a couple of, I mean before we go to the SPL 03, one or two points importantly, what they say is where the notice or order is under 128A, अगर आपको किसी भी चीज का बेनिफिट लेना है, it is a demand of tax partially on account of erroneous refund and partially for other reasons, then the application has to be filed only after making full payment of tax as it is demanded in the notice. Means you cannot have a selective approach in the notice which you're, or the order which you're challenging, and beg your pardon, which you're trying to claim a amnesty under. जैसा order है वैसे का वैसा demand अगर आप भरते हो tax amount, तो ही आपका interest penalty का waiver होगा. It may be possible that you are not agreeing in principle, in legal manner you are not willing to agree, but आपको amnesty में जाना है तो जितना amount demand में है, without disputing even a rupee of it, you have to pay entire tax amount. Even if it is pertaining to more than one period, even let's say कोई period या amnesty के भी, मतलब मान के चलो कि कोई आपका 1920 2021 का order एक साथ आया है ना, actually speaking 1920 को ही आपका amnesty applicable. Now what it says is that whether the notice or order mentioned is partially for the period other than mentioned in subsection, and an application under subrule 1 and 2 may be filed only after payment of full tax amount demanded in the said notice or order. Now see here, there is a catch. What it says, where a notice or statement is issued includes demand tax for a period mentioned in subsection. वो कौन सा है demand tax mentioned in subsection? 17, 18, 18, 19, 19, 20. ये जो आपका यहाँ पे mentioned था. If we can just refer back to section 128, if you can see, this section 128 particularly talks about pertaining to the period July 17 to March 20. So it is specifically trying to discuss that अगर आपका कोई 1920 as well as 2021 का comprehensive order है, then also you are supposed to pay the tax in full as it is demanded. Now my problem over here is there is no amnesty for 2021. So it means 2021 का tax interest penalty एंड 1920 का टैक्स, ये अगर आप भरते हो तो ही आप इसमें एलिजिबल हो गए, ऐसा मेरा मानना है, ऐसा मेरा ओपिनियन है. ऑफ कोर्स देयर, ऑफ कोर्स इफ एनीबॉडी हैज अ काउंटर आर्गुमेंट ऑन दिस, आई एम रियली हैप्पी, आई वुड बी रियली हैप्पी टू डिस्कस, बिकॉज दिस इज एट अ वेरी नैव स्टेज दैट वी आर डिस्कसिंग दिस रूल, बिकॉज इट्स जस्ट one day or 2 day it has come in the public domain, the procedure, or beg your pardon, the clarification. So now, the amount payable under subrule 1 and 2 shall be the amount that remains payable after deducting the amount not payable under section 6 because of the existence or because of the introduction of section 16(5). Means, if your order is having a demand, let's say 1 3B mismatch है, ITC 2A 3B mismatch है, या आपका कोई भी और रीजन है, एंड देयर इज अ रीजन ऑफ 16(4) कि आपने टाइम में क्रेडिट क्लेम नहीं किया था. But now that you have a section 16 subsection 5 which has been inserted, which is also again a sort of amnesty type of section, which says for the year 17 18 18 19 19 20 20 21, if any documents, that is invoice or debit note, for which you have claimed a credit, and if that credit has been claimed by 30th November 2021, then all your input tax credit shall be considered as eligible. Section 16(4) वहां पे लागू नहीं होगा, and section 16 subsection 5 यही आपको बोलता है. So what does this amnesty provision is also trying to encompass in it, that whatever demand you are supposed to pay before going into for this amnesty applications, वो डिमांड आप भरोगे रिड्यूसिंग, आफ्टर रिड्यूसिंग इफ देर इज एनी डिमांड अंडर 16(4) वेर इट इज एलिजिबल फॉर यू. मतलब टोटल ग्रॉस डिमांड आपका जो भी है उसमें से पहले वो टैक्स आप माइनस करो जो सिर्फ 16(4) के वजह से आपके ऊपर लागू किया गया था, नॉट बाय एनी अदर रीजन, उतना ही अमाउंट आपका रिड्यूस हो जाएगा, बिकॉज नाउ as if that liability is not existing only because of the insertion of 16(5), right? So we'll go further now. What they say particularly is any person who is willing to file an application may do so by within a period of 3 months from the date notified under subsection 1 of section 128A. Now ये जो 128A के अंदर सेक्शन जो डेट नोटिफाई हुआ है ये वही है 31 मार्च 2025. एनी पर्सन हु विशेस टू फाइल एन एप्लीकेशन, मतलब अगर किसी को SPL 01 SPL 02 फाइल करना है तो वो 3 months फ्रॉम द डेट नोटिफाइड मीन्स 31 मार्च 2025 से लेके 3 महीने के अंदर अंदर आपको ये SPL 01 SPL 02 फाइल करना पड़ेगा. ओके. Now, very importantly, as it says very clearly, SPL 02 is to be filed in cases referred to in first proviso. The time limit for filing an application shall be 6 months from the date of communication of order of the proper officer redetermining such tax under section 73. Means, आज आपका SCN 74 में खुला था, you have challenged it, the appellate authority or the court sends it back to the officer saying that you need to assess it under section 73. उसके तहत ऑफिसर इश्यूज एन ऑर्डर अंडर सेक्शन 73. उस ऑर्डर के दिन से 6 महीने के अंदर आपको ये पेमेंट करना होगा, आपको ये एप्लीकेशन बिग पार्टन करना होगा। पेमेंट के लिए ऑफ कोर्स दे विल गिव अ लेसर पीरियड टू मेक द पेमेंट, बट एप्लीकेशन हैज टू बी फाइल्ड विद इन 6 months फ्रॉम दैट। I'm just repeating once more because I believe that there was a slight error. If an order is issued redetermining the liability under section 73, then these applications are to be made within 6 months। मतलब आपका जो भी वो डेट ऑफ ऑर्डर है उस मतलब ये एप्लीकेशन करने से पहले वैसे भी आपको तो टैक्स पेमेंट करना ही पड़ेगा, राइट। नाउ what it particularly says is that you make an application under this SPL 01 or SPL 02 on receiving the application which is made in SPL 01 or SPL 02, okay, where the proper officer has received that application, and if he feels that this application is liable to be rejected, then he can issue you a intrinsic show cause notice under the form SPL 03। मतलब आपने एप्लीकेशन किया कि बॉस दिस इज माय एमनेस्टी एप्लीकेशन, वो एप्लीकेशन गो थ्रू करने के बाद अगर ऑफिसर को लगता है कि आपका एमनेस्टी एप्लीकेशन इज लाइबल फॉर रिजेक्शन, he can issue you a notice within 3 months from the date of said application which is being uploaded to him, and shall also give an opportunity of being heard। means आपको जाके अभी ये बोलना कि मेरा amnesty rejection क्यों नहीं होना चाहिए। so see, it's like slightly getting complex over here। Now, once this SPL 03 was issued, you are supposed to give a reply to that in SPL 04 within a period of 1 month from the date of that SPL 03 being issued। Means आपको clarification देना है that why your rejection should not happen। After receiving your SPL 04, if the officer is satisfied that okay, आपका for whatever reasons आपका जो application है amnesty का वो सही है, which should be upheld, in that case he will issue you an SPL 05 which will be a acceptance and deemed conclusion of proceedings under these amnesty provisions। अगर ऑफिसर ने आपका SPL 05 इशू किया है, इसका मतलब आपका एमनेस्टी का एप्लीकेशन थ्रू हो चुका है। नाउ योर प्रोसीडिंग्स एंड एवरीथिंग विल गेट कंसिडर्ड टू बी कंसिडर्ड एज अ कंक्लूडेड प्रोसीडिंग्स। ऑफ कोर्स अगर आपका SPL 01 है तो वो DRC 07 इशू करेगा। आई मीन ही विल नॉट बी रिक्वायर्ड टू इशू अ DRC 07 बिकॉज अभी ऑर्डर देके मतलब ही नहीं, आपका एमनेस्टी में हो गया है कंक्लूजन। अगर वो ऑर्डर को चैलेंज करके आपने क्लॉज बी या सी में एप्लीकेशन किया है सेक्शन 128 के तहत, देन ऑफ कोर्स दैट व्हाटएवर DRC 07 वाज इशूड दैट विल बी मॉडिफाइड, एंड जो ये एमनेस्टी का आपको ऑर्डर दिया जाएगा SPL 05 में, दैट विल बी कंसिडर्ड एज अ फाइनल डिस्पोजल ऑर्डर। Now comes a very important point. If the officer is not satisfied with your reply in SPL 04, then he is eligible to reject your entire amnesty application under SPL 07। And now this really is something which is going to be a problematic thing। Now see, understand, हम लोग बेसिकली एमनेस्टी में जा रहे हैं बिकॉज हम लोग को अपीलेट प्रोसीजर में से ऐसा लग रहा है दैट वी नीड टू टेक अ रिलीफ। But that amnesty was not just pay the tax and close the matter. Now it will also be further verified. And if it is found not fit to be an amnesty case, it is liable for rejection. Just probably we have recently seen the SVLDRS rejections, then the writ petitions and the appeals against that. Here there is something looks like there is an opening for that as well. That आपका SPL 07 issue हो जाएगा, वो आपका amnesty application reject कर देंगे। So now what happens next is relevant। Now if SPL 03 was not issued only, मतलब आपने एप्लीकेशन 1 and 2 में किया, उसके अगेंस्ट उसने SPL 03 इशू ही नहीं किया विद इन दैट पीरियड ऑफ 3 months फ्रॉम द डेट ऑफ रिसीट, and as the case may be, and in case where the notice in SPL 03 has been issued, the proper officer shall issue the within a period of 3 months, उनको आपको वो SPL 04 में आपका रिप्लाई जा चुका है, or within 4 months from the issuance of notice under SPL 03 when no reply is issued from the applicant। Now basically they are only saying that either आपने अगर SPL 03 इशू ही नहीं किया, मतलब कौन करेगा, वो ये ऑफिसर इशू करेगा अगर उसको कोई डिस्क्रिपेंसीज है तो, या उसने शो कॉज निकाला आपके एमनेस्टी के एप्लीकेशन के अगेंस्ट। In case where the notice is in form SPL 03 has been issued, मतलब officer has done his duty, but the proper officer shall issue an order within 10 sub-rule 10 or 12 within a period of 3 months। मतलब उसका ऑर्डर मतलब वो जो SPL 05 है वो उनको इशू करना है, or within 4 months from the date of issuance of notice under SPL 03 when no reply is received। मतलब आपको 03 देने के बाद अगर 04 में कुछ नहीं आता है, अगर वो डिटरमाइंड है कि उनको रिजेक्ट ही करना है, वो सीधा SPL 07 आपको इशू कर देंगे. दिस इज एज सिंपल एज दैट. नाउ if no order is issued by the proper officer within the time limit specified in sub-rule 13, then the application in SPL 01 and SPL 02 shall be deemed to be approved and the proceeding shall be deemed to be concluded. Now, this is again something what you need to look forward to. मतलब you filed an SPL 01 or SPL 02 as the case may be. 3 months के अंदर ना तो आपको कोई SPL 03 आया, या फिर आपने SPL 03 के अगेंस्ट जो जवाब देना था वो भी दे दिया है. Okay, you whatever answer you had to give. Now what they are saying is that rule 13 के तहत you have both the situations covered. You gave the answer and still he has not issued you any order, rejection or anything, then your application shall be deemed to be accepted. आपका 128A के अंदर का proceedings जो है वो deemed to be conclusive माना जाएगा. Now there is another sub rule. Now this is again getting a bit tighter. It says that where no appeal is filed in the form in the form GST SPL 07 within the time period specified in 1 of 107, मतलब जो आपका appellate authority को अपील करने का टाइम है, which is normally 90 days, नहीं मतलब 3 months and 90 days, and उसके अगेंस्ट एक्सटेंडेड 30 days है आपके पास. अगर आपका रिजेक्ट हुआ है, एमनेस्टी एप्लीकेशन रिजेक्ट हुआ है, एंड इफ यू आर नॉट फाइलिंग एनी अपील अगेंस्ट दैट, okay, if you are not filing any appeal against that, then if the original appeal which was filed by the applicant in clause B or clause C of section 128A and which was withdrawn for the purpose of this amnesty, that shall be restored. मैं थोड़ा सा एक बार वापस बता दूं. अभी clause B और clause C बेसिकली अपना क्या था, 128A का आपको शोकॉज नोटिस के बाद आपका डिमांड ऑर्डर आया है. You have challenged that order before the appellate authority and the decision is yet to be received. Or you challenge the order of the appellate authority and the tribunal is yet to get back to you. That is, the order is to be issued by the tribunal. If such case में you went for an amnesty, तो first step that you did is you had withdrawn the original appeal. फिर आप एमनेस्टी में गए, आपने एमनेस्टी के तहत पैसा भर दिया, बट आपका एमनेस्टी का एप्लीकेशन जो है वो रिजेक्ट हो चुका है. नाउ एप्लीकेशन एमनेस्टी का अगर रिजेक्ट हो जाता है तो उसके अगेंस्ट आपको अपील करने का अनुमति है. बट अगर आप वो भी अपील 90 डेज के अंदर नहीं करते हो, 90 डेज के अंदर नहीं करते हो, देन जो आपका ओरिजिनल अपील था जो पहले आपने विड्रॉ किया था, दैट ओरिजिनल अपील विल गेट रिस्टोर्ड. दिस इज व्हाट द रूल इज टेलिंग यू. सो नो, दिस एमनेस्टी इज नॉट रियली गेटिंग क्लोज्ड वेरी क्विकली. इसका थोड़ा आपका जो मोडस है, इट इज स्लाइटली अगेन गोइंग मोर लाइक अ रीअसेसमेंट और रीस्क्रूटनी जैसा एक प्रोसेस होने वाला है. नाउ the appellate authority has held that the proper officer had rightly rejected the SPL 07, मतलब rightly rejected the amnesty proceedings. The original appeal, if any, filed by the application so and so and by the applicant so and so shall be restored subject to the condition that the applicant files an undertaking. मतलब वो क्या बोल रहा है कि अगर आपने ये SPL 07 के अगेंस्ट एक्चुअली अपील किया था, समझ विद इन द टाइम लिमिट कर दिया था, even if that appeal gets rejected, then they are giving you one opportunity कि आपका जो ओरिजिनल अपील था that they will allow you to restore, provided ये जो एमनेस्टी ऑर्डर के अगेंस्ट आपका अपील था, आप ऐसा एक अंडरटेकिंग दोगे that going forward I will not challenge this appellate authority order against this amnesty rejection, but I will continue with my original application. That is what you're sort of going to give a declaration. So friends, it's to be very honest, as an amnesty, it's slightly complex when you get so many forms and numbers again involved in it, because the procedure is going to get elongated. See, now actually speaking, you are ending up by finishing up by paying the taxes by 31st March 25 in most of the cases. But ये सब चीजें उसके बाद 3 महीना 4 महीना 6 महीना, and of course with whatever extensions etc things happen, this is a bit tasking definitely. Now they are saying in case where the taxpayer is required to pay additional amount, as we had referred to in second proviso to section 128A, such additional payment is not made within the notified period, then whatever orders under amnesty are issued to you वो भी considered हो जाएगा null and void. Means if as per second proviso to 128A आपका appellate authority के through कोई additional payment करने को अगर आ रहा था, वो अगर आपने टाइम में नहीं किया, देन आपका ये जो एमनेस्टी के अंदर दिया हुआ रिलीफ है वो भी कंसिडर किया जाएगा null and void. Even if a positive favorable order was issued to you, that will not be allowed to you. In case where the taxpayer is required to pay an amount of interest or penalty in respect of any demand pertaining to or erroneous refund on account of demand pertaining to the period other than period mentioned in 128A and the details have been mentioned in SPL 05, मतलब वो जो उन्होंने एक बोला था कि आपको मल्टीपल ईयर्स का अगर ऑर्डर था एंड आपको वो भरने के मतलब एमनेस्टी में आने के लिए यू हैव टू पे द डिमांड फुल, मतलब वो साल जिनके लिए एमनेस्टी एप्लीकेबल नहीं है फुल डिमांड टैक्स इंटरेस्ट पेनल्टी लेट्स से and even the tax for that period. If you fail to pay either of it, again that provision, I mean this SPL 05 and SPL 06 जो है that will be considered as null and void, and this is again very challenging. So these were the rules prima facie which were introduced. Now post the introduction of rules, we come to 15th of October when they have issued a, I mean when they have particularly issued a circular number 237/31/2024 GST. Now they were clarifying issues regarding implementation of provisions of subsection 5 and subsection 6 of section 16. This was the circular 237, but I'll skip that one. We'll come to circular 238, which is about this clarifications on various doubts related to 128A. Now friends, if you see the circular, I mean if you see the clarification which is issued, that runs into almost 15 odd pages, which has a summary prepared at end of it, which has some specific summary points, and therefore we are, I mean, for the sake of brevity, I'm not going to refer to it, read it out. They can be of course accessed by you also on this particular circular. What is relevant now to understand is that they have more clarity after the rules they have given, that what exactly this mechanism is going to be, etc. But more importantly, if you see that there are a few points that in this circular that we are going to only discuss based on the recommendations with effect from 1/1/11/2024 white notification so and so providing for procedure and conditions of closure of proceeding under section 128A. That date was notified, that is 1st of November. Then this notification 21/2024 states that 31st March 2025 has been notified to be a date up to which the payment has to be made. That is, the payment has to be made before that. Now, what were the doubts? So and so, in order to clarify those doubts and bring uniformity, they have said this. Now, what about the application? Simple. We have already covered it. I'm just trying to just trying to discuss what the circular also says. Now, they are particularly saying the provisions of 128 are applicable for only 1718, 1819, 1920 following situations. That notice is issued, order is issued, all that thing that we discussed. Additionally, as per the first provision, in case where the notice was initially under 74 but it was subsequently covered under 73, then even that is eligible for 128. So that is what also it clarifies. Now they further say that ओनली नोटिस वॉज इशूड बट ऑर्डर इज नॉट इशूड, तो आप जैसा मैंने बोला कि आप SPL 01 फाइल करोगे, अदरवाइज आप अपील वाले केस में हो तो SPL 02 फाइल करोगे. सो आई जस्ट स्किप दैट पार्ट व्हाट वी ऑलरेडी हैव डिस्कस्ड. ओके, एंड नाउ मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंटली व्हाट दे से अबाउट द पेमेंट ऑफ टैक्स with respect to notice or statement referred to in so and so the section 128A. A notice or statement that is so and so, that taxpayer is supposed to pay the tax in form DRC 03. अगर DRC 03 के थ्रू नहीं कर रहे हो तो वो आप कौन से केस में करोगे, क्लॉज बी एंड क्लॉज सी ऑफ 128A के अगर जाते हो तो आप DRC 03 पहले करोगे, देन DRC 03A करोगे just to offset that liability etc. But that is just like a procedural clarification that they have given. What they say is that payment shall be made before the notified date, that is 31st March 2025. एंड जो केसेस मैंने बोला कि जो अपील में जाके वापस आने वाले हैं उनको 6 months फ्रॉम द डेट ऑफ कम्युनिकेशन ऑफ ऑर्डर करना है पेमेंट. In case where the tax amount as per notice or order includes was demanded due to contravention of provision of subsection 16(4), so of course they are allowed to be reduced. So that also we discussed, right? Now, very importantly, process of application and issuance of order. So they are saying that the proper officer for processing the application would be the proper officer, means the same proper officer or your adjudicating authority will be the one who will be considered as the proper officer to do this entire verification of this appeals amnesty application, amnesty application that you are going to make. So friends, what particularly we try to highlight is that even though at the outset when we heard about this amnesty, इसमें ऐसा लगा था कि okay, the life is very simple now because the amnesty is in place. But if you see the procedure, that is slightly challenging, slightly complex, and therefore with respect to the transaction, firstly we need to assess for each of our clients, आपके खुद के business के लिए भी अगर आप सोच रहे हो तो whether the amnesty is really something that you should go for. If you are having some meritorious issues, then of course in our opinion you should vet in actually whether you want to go for the amnesty or not, or you would want to continue to litigate under the existing applications or appeals which have been filed. That is one. Second, not just payment of tax before the 31st March 2025 is going to conclude your amnesty, and it is going to you know it is going to like stay everything that is initiated against you, because unless these concluding proceedings has not been issued under SPL 05, your orders remain as open as they are today. And therefore do not forget, or do not try to dodge this around. This is very much essential to be done for every amnesty application that you try to make. Even though it is an amnesty, it still has a opening gate on the other side saying that the amnesty application is rejected, as it also happened under the SVLDRS. एंड देयरफॉर उसको भी चैलेंज करना है तो वो चैलेंज कर सकते हो, एंड वो अगर नहीं चैलेंज करते हो तो आपके जो ओरिजिनल अपील्स है इन क्लॉज बी एंड सी के हिसाब से, तो वो आपके अपील रिस्टोर हो जाएंगे एनीवेज बाय द टाइम होपफुली द ट्राइब्यूनल इज आल्सो गोइंग टू बी इन फोर्स. So friends, since that was the things, we thought that this is something that is relevant what we could discuss in the light of these rules which were issued on 8th of October and the circular which has been issued on 15th of October. We hope that more simplification sort of a thing happens. Of course, in the rules also, I would also show that at the bottom of these rules which were issued on 8th October, these SPL 01, SPL 02 forms, all the SPL 01, 02, 03, etc. things are already given. The formats are given which are going to be incorporated in the form section of our CGST rules. So that is something that we can look forward to. So in the light of this all, we tried to just have a basic discussion of the fundamentals of this entire amnesty. We hope that the discussion was meaningful, and in times to come let us expect that if any more steadier or easier mechanism is introduced, that will be always welcoming. Otherwise this is how it is going to be. So with all this we would like to conclude. So at the outset again, I would like to thank you all for this patient listening, and this has been sort of a very eager reading for me, because these rules were slightly complex to read, or the circulars were slightly no, a bit too lengthy to read and to analyze really. So it was fun really. So thank you so much all of you for patient listening. Have a good day ahead. Jai Hind.